Hey guys, welcome back everyone. If you've been following me lately, you've been getting a whole lot of content on your nervous system, how to stay away from the people, the environments and the things that continue to make you sick. You've been getting the good, bad and the ugly of artificial intelligence. But today I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm pulling back the curtain on my own experience, and I'm going to be straight with you about my own nervous system, my own healing journey, and the 10 things that I've learned in the last 10 months of being separated in my marriage. This isn't coaching, this isn't a masterclass, and this isn't a sales pitch either. This is me telling the truth. Because if I'm going to be out here as a health advocate and I'm going to stand here asking people to heal, then I have to be willing to tell you the truth about the things that nearly broke me. And what I've discovered is that healing is not pretty. It's not a quote on Instagram. It's not a meditation. It's not a journal prompt. Sometimes healing looks like sitting alone in a room trying to work out how the heck you became someone you don't even recognize anymore. And that's where this journey started for me. Not with answers, but with awareness. And awareness is a brutal gift, because once you see something clearly, you can't go back. You can never unsee it. So here are the 10 things that I learned in the last 10 months during this separation. Number 1, I learned that my nervous system was a prisoner of hypervigilance. It was easy to tell because I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and I had the hypothyroidism. But for years I thought I was resilient. I thought I was strong. I thought I was adaptable. What I eventually learned was that my nervous system wasn't demonstrating resilience. It was demonstrating survival. And there's a difference. When your body is constantly scanning for danger, constantly anticipating conflict, constantly preparing for the next emotional explosion, you stop living and you just start surviving. As a health advocate, I thought I understood the nervous system regulation. I understood the science, I understood the theory, but theory and lived experience are not the same thing. I learned that your body always tells the truth, even when your mind is still negotiating with a different reality. Number 2, I learned that betrayal doesn't always come looking ugly. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is that betrayal rarely arrives wearing a villain costume. Sometimes it comes dressed as support. Sometimes it comes dressed as concern. Sometimes it comes dressed as friendship or spirituality. One of the biggest mistakes that I made was believing that because someone spoke the language of healing, they were committed to healing. I learned that some people study your light not because they want to celebrate it. They study it because they want to replicate it. And that is a hard truth. Because you want to believe the best in people. You want to believe that everybody is operating from integrity. But they're not. And once you see clearly, you stop giving unrestricted access to your energy. Number 3, I learned that spiritual warfare is real. Now, when I say spiritual warfare, I'm not talking about demons hiding under your bed. I'm talking about the battle for your identity, the battle for your voice, the battle for your self-worth, and the battle between who God created you to be and who other people need you to become so that they can stay comfortable. I learned that not everybody celebrating God is actually surrendering to God. And not everybody quoting scripture actually embodies scripture. Not everybody speaking about healing is actually committed to truth. And sometimes people use spirituality to avoid accountability. Sometimes they use religion to control people. And I had to learn the difference. Number 4, I learned that endurance and strength are not the same thing. As an Indigenous woman, I was taught to endure, to push through, to keep going, carry the family, hold everything together, sacrifice, give more, do more, be stronger, be quieter, be more understanding. But eventually, I realized that endurance had become a prison. I had confused suffering with strength, and they are not the same thing. Real strength is honesty. Real strength is boundaries. Real strength is choosing yourself even when everybody else benefits from your self-abandonment. That lesson changed my life. Number 5, I learned that my creativity was being choked by fear. One thing that shocked me was what happened after separation. It's like ideas started to flow again. My creativity came back. My clarity came back. My intuition got louder and my business actually got stronger. My vision expanded, and at first I thought it must just be coincidence, but it wasn't. Fear consumes energy, and when you're spending all your energy surviving, there's nothing left for creation. I learned that innovation requires safety, purpose requires safety, vision requires safety. And once my nervous system stopped fighting to survive, it finally had enough energy to build again. Number 6, I learned that emotional intelligence is not being nice. And this one hurt. Because I thought emotional intelligence meant understanding everybody, giving grace, seeing all the perspectives, being compassionate. But I learned something different. Emotional intelligence also means recognizing manipulation, recognizing patterns, recognizing when someone is using your empathy against you. I learned that some people don't want understanding, they just want access. And there's a difference. Now I can hold compassion without surrendering my boundaries. And that is real growth. Number 7, I learned that being a mother in survival mode changes everything. And this is probably one of the hardest parts for me, because when you're surviving, you don't realize how much energy survival steals. You show up, you still cook, you still clean, you still go to work, you still parent, but internally you're running on fumes. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive the version of me that was doing the best that she could with all the resources that she had. And I had to stop judging her, because she survived things that she was never supposed to survive. And that woman deserves compassion, not criticism. Number 8, I learned that community and isolation can actually exist at the same time. And that was a strange lesson, because from the outside I had community, I had audiences, I had clients, conversations, I had people around me. But internally, I was isolated. I was carrying things I wasn't speaking about. I was protecting people who were not protecting me. I was holding secrets that weren't even mine to carry. And I learned that true community is not measured by how many people know your name. It is measured by how many people can hold your truth without weaponizing it. Number 9, I learned that God never left. There were moments where I questioned everything. Moments when I was angry. Moments when I was exhausted. I felt abandoned. But looking back now, I see something really clearly. God never left. I just couldn't hear him through all of the noise. I couldn't hear him through all of the chaos. I couldn't hear him through all of the confusion. But every single step of this journey, there were breadcrumbs, people, conversations, opportunities, warnings, doors closing, doors opening. The guidance was always there. I just had to get quiet enough to recognize it, quiet enough to hear him. And number 10, I learned that choosing yourself changes everything. This is probably the biggest one for me. I learned that choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's sacred. Choosing yourself doesn't mean that you stop loving people. It means you stop abandoning yourself. I learned that choosing yourself doesn't mean that you're perfect, it means that you're honest. I learned that choosing yourself doesn't mean you don't feel fear, it means fear no longer gets the final vote. The last 10 months have changed me. Not because they were easy, but because they weren't. Not because they were beautiful, but because so many parts are fucking ugly. That changed me because that forced me to meet myself. The real me. Not the version that was performing for everybody in front of me. Not the version that was surviving from all of the violent abuse that was consuming me. Not the version that was trying to keep up so that everyone else could feel happy. Just the real me. And honestly, I'm grateful. I'm not grateful for the pain. I'm not grateful for the suffering. But I'm grateful for the awareness. Because awareness gave me my life back. And here's one thing that I want to leave with you today. Your body knows. Your spirit knows. Your intuition knows. And the truth is that it's always inside of you. The question is whether you're willing to listen. And I started listening. And when you listen to yourself, you learn about that self-love and that self-worth. It changes your life. That's it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for witnessing a part of my story. And thank you for allowing me to tell you my truth, because the truth is really sacred. And sometimes telling the truth is the first step to heading back home to yourself. So if this resonated with you, please like, comment and share with someone who needed to hear this message today. I love you. Thank you.